Right now, across many parts of the country, winter utility charges are quietly starting to show up on bills, and for most people, there was no clear warning, no big notice in the mail, no alert that jumped out when the season changed, just a bill that looks higher than expected, right as the weather starts getting colder. A lot of people are opening their gas or electric bill and thinking the same thing. I didn't change anything. Why is this more expensive already? And that question makes sense, because winter bills don't usually jump all at once from one big mistake. They rise slowly, quietly, through small changes that are hard to spot unless you know exactly where to look. And when you're on a fixed income, those small increases matter more than most people realize. Today, I want to break this down in a simple way: what winter utility charges actually are, why they start now, why no one really explains them in plain language, and most importantly, what you can still do to protect yourself as winter goes on. So let's start with what people are noticing right now. Across the US, December bills are arriving a little higher than normal. Some people see a $5 increase, others see $10 or $20, a few see much more. And when they look at the bill, the usage doesn't seem dramatically different from the fall months. That's where confusion starts. Most people assume higher bills only come from using more energy, turning the heat up too high, leaving lights on, running extra appliances. But in winter, that's only part of the story. The other part is how energy is priced this time of year. Many utility companies use seasonal pricing. That means the cost of energy isn't the same all year long. Winter rates are often higher because supplying energy during cold months costs more. Heating fuel demand jumps, infrastructure is under more strain, natural gas prices can change, electricity demand rises when more people are home and using heat. Instead of making a big announcement that says, "Winter rates are now in effect," companies usually adjust things quietly inside the bill. The wording is technical, the explanation is short, and unless you're looking closely, it's easy to miss. You might see something like fuel adjustment, or winter service charge, or seasonal cost recovery, or delivery fee increase. None of those sound alarming on their own, but together they raise the total. Here's why this matters so much for seniors. In winter, many seniors spend more time at home. It's colder, days are shorter, travel is harder, heating systems run longer because staying warm isn't optional. And even if you're careful, you naturally use more energy when temperatures drop. So when higher usage meets higher rates, bills rise faster than expected, and the timing is important. Most winter utility charges start early, usually in late fall or early winter. That means December is often the first bill where people really notice a change. January and February are typically higher still. If you don't understand what's happening in December, the shock feels bigger later. Now let's talk about what these winter charges usually include. One common charge is a fuel cost adjustment. Utility companies buy natural gas, coal, or other fuels at market prices. When those prices rise, utilities pass the cost along to customers through a surcharge. During winter, fuel prices often rise because demand is higher nationwide. Another charge is a seasonal delivery or service fee. Cold weather puts stress on pipelines, power lines, and equipment. Utilities often increase delivery charges to cover maintenance and infrastructure costs during winter. In some states, utility regulators allow winter-only increases because energy is more expensive to supply during peak demand months. These increases may be temporary, but they can last several billing cycles. And here's the part that catches most people off guard. These changes don't always show up as a single big line item. Sometimes the price per unit of energy goes up slightly. From one month to the next, the change seems small, but when combined with increased usage, the result feels much larger. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine your gas bill in October was around $75. You used a moderate amount of heat, mostly at night. Everything felt normal. In December, you use a bit more heat because nights are colder. That part makes sense, but now add a winter fuel adjustment and a slightly higher delivery rate. Suddenly, the same level of usage costs more than it did before. Your bill jumps to $105. You didn't suddenly start wasting energy. The price structure changed. Or think about electricity. In winter, lights are on longer. Electric blankets may be used. Holiday lighting adds small but steady usage. Combined with winter rate shifts, your electric bill creeps up even when you're trying to be careful. This is why winter bills feel sneaky. They don't spike because of one bad habit. They rise because of timing. Now let's talk about why no one really explains this clearly. Utility bills are designed to meet regulatory requirements, not to be easy to understand. Companies are technically required to disclose changes, but they don't have to make those disclosures obvious. Notices are often placed in fine print, monthly inserts, or online documents most customers never read. And utilities know something else. Most customers don't switch providers easily. Heating is essential, and winter is not the time people argue over bills. So explanations stay technical, short, easy to overlook. Another reason explanation is lacking is that winter charges are considered normal in the industry. They happen every year, but that doesn't mean they feel normal when your budget is tight. Now let's talk about something important. Winter utility charges are not always permanent. Some seasonal charges are removed in spring. Fuel adjustments may go down if prices fall. Delivery charges may reduce when demand drops. But that doesn't help much when winter bills arrive during the most expensive months of the year for everything else. Groceries, medicine, travel, holiday costs, heating, everything hits at once. So what can you actually do? First, take a closer look at your utility bill right now. Don't just glance at the total. Look at the middle section where charges are broken down. If you see words like fuel adjustment, seasonal, or winter, that explains part of the increase. Second, compare this bill to last winter, not last month. Month-to-month comparisons in winter don't tell the full story. Year-to-year comparisons help you spot rate changes versus usage changes. Third, check whether you qualify for any senior discounts or assistance programs. Many utilities offer reduced rates, budget billing, or payment plans for seniors. These are rarely automatic. You often have to ask. Fourth, if you receive Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, look into energy assistance programs like LIHIP. These programs help cover heating costs during winter, but they usually have application deadlines. Waiting too long means missing help for the entire season. Fifth, small habit changes during peak winter hours can help more than people think. Lowering the thermostat slightly overnight, dressing warmer indoors, closing unused rooms. These aren't extreme measures, but they reduce usage during the most expensive billing periods. And finally, if your bill doesn't make sense, call your utility provider. Ask specifically whether winter rates or seasonal surcharges have started. Ask if there are any programs you can enroll in. A short phone call can sometimes prevent months of frustration. So let me ask you something. Have you noticed your winter utility bill rising already? Or are you waiting for the first big cold weather bill to arrive? Because understanding what's happening now gives you more control later. Winter charges aren't new, but they feel new when no one explains them. And when every dollar matters, clarity matters even more. Winter is just getting started, but knowing what's changing and why puts you in a better position to manage the months ahead.